Good morning, DJs! I know it's morning somewhere in the world, so I am right on that, even though it's like 10 o'clock at night. Welcome to the Jessie DJs show. I'm Queen of DJs, your hostess for tonight, aka Jessie, Jessica, Queen, Queenie, bitch, cowbag, not sir, not bro, because look, two girls on the internet together at the same time. See, we do exist. Tonight we have with us Coopy and Jenna, who's come along to tell us all about her project that she's leading, her wonderful team and all that kind of stuff. But first, in traditional Jessie DJs style, I'm going to invite Jenna to make us laugh.
Oh my Lord. Can I just laugh and you laugh with me? Yeah. Oh gosh, I hate this sort of thing. So the moment that you said about this, I was like, oh my God. But I'm not going to say a joke. I'm going to tell you what I think is quite a funny story. A friend of mine, she went into, it was a member's place in London. She walked in, she was waiting for someone, and she thought she recognized someone. So she went up and she was having this like small chit chat, thinking like, oh yeah, okay, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And as the time went on, she suddenly was like, he looks a bit awkward right now. I'm trying to figure out how I know you, like, where I know you from. Then it dawned on her that it was David Schwimmer, aka Ross from Friends. She does not know him at all. She doesn't know him. He doesn't know her. And she's just been sat there for, I think, about 10 minutes, just having this general chit chat, trying to work out. So then eventually she sort of backtracked and she was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll see you later. Thanks a lot. And he just looked mortified. But yeah. I found that like quite a funny story, that it's when you don't know someone but you recognize them and it's oh no, I must know them. And you just have
that is really funny. I do things like that all the time. Start talking to random strangers and I'm like, oh no, you're not who I'm talking
I do. And like someone walks along the street and they wave and I go like, oh hi, and then I realize they're waving to someone behind me and I literally just feel mortified and I'm like, okay, sorry, and I carry on going. Because it happens all the time.
Next, let's move on. Okay, let's get into it. I just want to say, for the benefit of YouTube that haven't been here for the pre-waffle, Jenna has done something to her back, poorly, but because I'm so demanding, she has, and I'm really grateful about this, switched her camera on for us. So I just want to say thank you, and I hope it's not too painful and you can get through this.
It's fine. Yeah. It's fine.
Right, Jenna, I know you're a bit of a pro on the circuit by now. You must have your patter down like absolutely 100%. Do you want to just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into Coopy?
Yeah, of course. So hi guys, thank you for being here. Thank you, Jessie, as ever. Apologies, I'm in a little bit of pain, as she just mentioned, but I'm all good. So my background is I started off as work experience in light entertainment shows, worked my way up to producer level, left light entertainment because it felt a little bit soulless, I suppose, and then started looking at documentaries, and after that I met my now business partner. He's one of the individuals involved in the project as well, Zeh, and we decided to start working together, looking at business, technology, incubation, development, and yeah, he's sort of like the right-hand man. So we have been working on various different technologies, business ideas. Then COVID hit, because of our businesses, it's more like, travel proximity is so important. So that took a pause, a hiatus. And that's when also BSC started reigning its ugly little head. So started delving into the wild, wild west of crypto.
So wait, yeah. when did you originally get into crypto? I actually got in on the COVID dump itself, and I bought Bitcoin for like 4K just before the halvening, like just after the whole lockdown. Don't even get me started. and Ethereum was about $300 or $400, I think. And I was looking at it going, I hadn't got a clue what I was doing or anything else. But like, so when did you get in?
So the very, very first time, gosh, would have been many years ago. I think Bitcoin was like £3 or something like that. That was the very, very first time. And my sister, I did, but didn't hold it. Like, everyone was telling me this was a complete scam.
Don't tell me you spent it on pizza.
I wasn't that bad, but pretty much. I probably couldn't have even bought a pizza with the amount that I made on it. I probably could have got like a 12 bar, because everyone was like, no, it's a scam, it's a scam, it's a scam. So no, that was the first time that it came onto my horizon, but I didn't hold it. Otherwise, I'd be a very happy individual right now. Although I'm still happy.
You're an OG.
Pardon?
You're actually an OG.
An OG that's not good at diamond holding back then, but now I think I'm the biggest diamond holder. Diamond hand. My trouble now, like back then, I sold. I did what I did, but now I can't not sell. I never sell. I literally just hold and hold and hold. But yeah, I'm pretty much an OG, I guess. And then a friend of mine got me back into it. I think it was 2017. Yeah, 2017. And then, when COVID hit afterwards, it was actually my brother. He brought me back in and he was like, oh, I want to invest in crypto. And I thought, gosh, I'm not trusting you. Please don't. And I had not looked into anything. But clearly, because I like dogs, I found Doge. And I was like, oh, I like this. Invest in this. And then 2 days later, everything blew up. So then my brother and his friends thought that I was like a messiah of crypto.
So you got in just before the bull run of 2017 then? So you've had two cycles there?
Yeah, no. So when I got my brother in, it would have been, when was COVID? 2019? 2020? Yeah, so when I got my brother in with Doge, that was 2019. And then 2 days later, Elon tweeted and it just went crazy. And then BSC started happening and he got into that and he was like, oh, we're running around in all these different projects. And he was asking for my advice. And I was like, I don't know anything. I know nothing about crypto. I really didn't at all. But I was helping him just, on a business sense. And that's started the whole journey of incorporating crypto into the project and the businesses that I work in.
How interesting! You've been here throughout all those times, and you've been through the highs and the lows, and
and still sticking at it.
Yeah. So that's actually one of my questions. We're going to go straight into it because I could be being blind, but when I was doing my research, it consists of scanning through your website and white paper and sniffing around at bits and bobs, looking at your team as well. Your team is amazing. You have an astrophysicist on your team. I was just like, when I read that, oh my God, I love the stars and space, but let's not digress too much. But that's amazing. You've got a legit team. I'll just say, I'll let you talk about that though. But yeah, so you're going to be deploying, because I was confused, because you're doing a pre-sale on Ethereum, ERC20, and BSC, aren't you? So where are you deploying? BSC?
No, so when we actually deploy, it's going to be on ERC. The reason why we started doing the BSC was, this is my fault. I was stupid. I have to be honest. Because of everything that's going on with the market, we decided that it wasn't going to be like, hey, we're raising 10 ETH, we're raising everything in ETH, as in, you know, the actual amount of Ethereum. It was always going to be automatically converted into USDC. So we started off that way, and then I was like, well, hold on a minute, we're converting it into a stable anyway. So why should the investors that are getting in at pre-sale stage, why should they have to invest and take the gas fees on Ethereum? They can just do it in BSC. It's irrelevant to the project. So that's why we started doing it on BSC as well. We can make it any token. That's why we also have PayPal. So if someone wants to actually do it via PayPal, then absolutely, that's fine.
Wow. So you're actually bringing people into crypto. Now this is very cool.
Yeah, that's the whole reason of actually setting up this project, because we've got the incubator that we do anyway in fiat, and we've got fiat investors. Then because of my history of learning about like BSC, really predominantly more than ETH, but learning about how crypto works and how the investor cycle, the investor mindset, I think a lot of them, unfortunately, get involved hoping to put in $100 and become a millionaire in 2 days. And there have been those moments, you know, you've got those people from SHIB, etc., that have done that. But unfortunately, yeah. But most of the time, there's always
but they're 1 in 1,000. This is what people don't understand. Yeah, it's possible, but it's like playing a lottery, and like you've either got to know somebody that has the real alpha, not just the, oh yeah, I got some alpha, bro, usually, or you've got to be really, really lucky. Because like it is literally 1 in 1,000. Anyway, we're not here to talk about shitcoins tonight.
No, but it's correct, because 95% of the time there's the poor person that's just held like at the bottom. They've bought high and they're holding, and everyone else has sold, and they're literally like, well, I've put my life savings in. So that's the aim of the project, diversifying the risk. And that's what you can do by investing in Coopy. It's diversification of your portfolio, and we will invest in real world projects, and you can get dividends back. So let's say you invest $100, $10, then you're diversifying that. And the more you hold and the longer you hold, then you get rewards based on that in stable coins or any other coin that you actually want to take it in. But that was the whole point. Venture capitalism, like in the States, you have to have a certain amount of money there to be able to invest. Also, only the elite. And I want it to be like the rich. Okay, the rich should get richer, but not at the expense of the poor people or the other guys and the little guys. And someone that has like $10, they should be given a chance as well. It shouldn't just be about who you know, how much money you have. And that's what crypto is about. And that's what I want to incorporate with this.
I absolutely love this. I mean, anybody that knows me, that's been to our shows before, I bang out on about this at every opportunity. But this is the original vision of the cypherpunks, was to take down state-imposed elitist corporate boundaries and unite all of the people in the world so they could transact regardless of geographic locale or anything else, and give everybody the opportunity to participate at the same level in financial
100%.
structure. But much more than that, and I think we'll head into that a bit as we go along. But just coming back to where you're deploying, so you're deploying on ERC20.
Yeah.
Obviously, gas is low at the moment. but we know in the bull run, the gas wars will start again. How are you going to manage that? How are you going to, because I mean, like, I get it. You want to give people, and I think it's fantastic. I'm all about anything that can bring crypto to prime time through real world utility, which is what you're talking about here, giving people the opportunity to get in and incubate real world businesses and projects. But so if somebody wants to get in with $10, say, but gas is $100, I mean, I was over there yesterday. I think the average transaction is going up and down between $5 to $10, which is okay. But I mean, do you have any contingency for that?
Yeah, so the longer term goal is actually to create our own blockchain, but that's not an easy feat. But that is, you know, part of our end game. We want to have that in place. But what we are also putting in place to remove the barrier to entry is we are setting up a neobank, much like Revolut. We're in talks with individuals.
I'm in Revolut.
Yeah, yeah. So
Revolut.
I do as well, and it actually came. The reason why I got into Revolut was because we were talking to the guys who set up Crypto.com's debit cards, they're debit cards. They've parted ways now.
Because that was a little name drop right there, wasn't it? Chatting to the guys that sorted out Crypto.com's access to the whole world financial systems. Sorry, carry on, Jenna. Sorry. That's big. I'm just saying, that's big. I'm like, Jesus. Okay, you've got some connection.
Yeah, and they've taught me a lot through the conversations and how it works. And that's where we came about. Actually, no, we're going to set up a neobank, and the guys behind Revolut with the APIs, etc., they're helping us as well. So we'll be able to have our own Coopy account, and you'll be able to buy the Coopy token in your app in the same way that you do like Bitcoin, etc., on your Revolut app, which is going to sort of like break down the barriers to market, I think, and the barrier to entry, not market. So that's one way that we're doing it, because what I've also found is we're trying to bridge that gap of fiat and crypto, but also educating. And right now it's a scary world for non-crypto users. As soon as you say crypto, they're like, whoa, I'm not touching that. It's like they freak out. They just like shut down. But when I talk to them in such a way about like blockchain technology and just the movement of digital currency, they start going like, okay, I find that interesting. But also some of the contracts, I was just looking at Coopy, sorry. He's trying to get treats. Some of the contracts that we're doing, we can't expect like a government to actually hand over crypto. We can't say like, hey, so here's our invoice and you need to pay us in a Coopy token. It's just not going to happen at this moment in time for some of the governments. Yes, okay, there are governments that are into Bitcoin, etc. But we're sort of trying to diminish that barrier to entry. And going back to what you said about like gas fees, etc., that's one way that we're trying to mitigate it. We're also going to make it so that you can pay with your debit card, etc. There's loops that we have to jump through, legislation, but we want to make it as seamless as possible. PayPal isn't the answer. It's the one answer that we've got right now that someone could, but it's not decentralized then, because, you know, we get all your information. So we're trying to sort of like jump through those sort of various different caveats. And also with the legislation, you have to keep fiat and crypto separate when it comes to the companies. So that's why we also have quite a convoluted structure. But ultimately, we want anyone. I want my, like, I don't have an Aunt Marjorie, but I'd love my Aunt Marjorie, who's 95 years old, to be able to purchase something and not even think about the crypto element. We can do that on the back end.
Yes, and that is the time that we will arrive at mainstream adoption, prime time, and that's the time. I say this like a broken record as well, that everybody that's here, like us right now, in this wild west of DeFi that we have, that pioneers, I mean, because we'll already know our way around, we'll already be set, we'll have such an advantage over the rest of the world. But when that time comes that people can transact on the blockchain without having to think about wallets and contract addresses and all the things that we have to navigate today, that will be the time that the liquidity will come in. Because we're only 1.2 trillion, thereabouts, tiny in the scheme of the world's liquidity. 130 trillion. It's really difficult to work out exactly what the market cap of the whole world's finances are, but it's like it's hundreds of trillions, isn't it? So we're only a tiny bit now. And this is where I find
amoebas.
And this is where I find projects, serious projects and long-term aspirations, because clearly you're building not for the next bull run or even the next cycle or the one after that. You're building something here that you want to last. Is that fair? Was that about right, would you say?
1,000,000%. And that's why we also have the multiple revenue streams, because any business, if you are just like pigeonholed and you go on like the latest trend, in the same way that crypto, you know, there's trends. We had the Meta trend, we had the Pepe trend, we had the X trend, we had the 0.2 trend. There's always trends, but if you're stagnant and sort of pigeonholing and not moving ahead, then unfortunately any business, take away from crypto, it will suffer. And that's why
crypto, because we know a day in crypto is the equivalent to a week in real life, a month is equivalent to a year, and so on. So, you know, this industry is so fast moving. If you blink, you wake up the next morning and like everything's changed again, hasn't it? Everything's changed again.
1,000,000%.
I just want to go back to that question that I was asking you about where you deploy, because something occurred to me. The way that you're running your pre-sale, you are literally giving people that maybe have smaller bags of 10, 20 bucks that look at what you're doing and think, oh, this looks quite good. A really easy way to get in, because you're holding half of your pre-sale on BSC, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll also potentially add more later, more options. But what we really want to do is actually help the little guy. That is actually my main aim with this. I have been offered to fill up the first 5 stages. I've been offered that, and I was like, nope, sorry, that goes against everything that we are about. It's about twofold. Someone that doesn't have a huge amount of money needs to be rewarded because they've believed in us, and they should get that opportunity. It shouldn't be about the rich getting richer. But then it's also about someone who might have a good business idea, but they don't know how to go about actually writing a business plan, getting financing. So that's the other side. We want to actually give that, even if they don't invest, they can come to us and they can pitch their idea. And if we think it's a viable idea, then we incubate it. And then we pitch. Kind
of like the Dragon's Den, if you're in the UK, or Shark Tank for our transatlantic friends. Again, Dragon's Den, Shark Tank or Dragon's Den. Yeah. Wow, that sounds amazing. That sounds really cool, Jenna. So, so people have got the opportunity right now to get in, and you're at the first step because you've got a long pre-sale plan, haven't you? Did I see 9 stages?
So 9 stages if we go for the hard cap. The soft cap is at the end of stage 4. I'm starting to think that we actually end it at stage 4 because that's our soft cap. That's when I believe, okay, we can do everything that we need to do. We would have to have taxes on the token, but yeah, if we go for the full hard cap, then it's 9 stages. But yeah, I'm thinking currently that we're going to end it.
What is your soft cap?
It's just under 1.5 million, so it's 1.49 to be exact. That's the soft cap.
That's not a big ask for a project like yours. It's really not. That's quite realistic and achievable. What would your hard cap be, just out of interest?
The hard cap is just under 25 million. So it's a significant jump. The reason being is I want us to be a zero tax token. That is my goal. That then means that there's nothing going into the LP directly through taxes. Yes, there's a small amount. I think it's like 0.3% with Uniswap that automatically goes in. So we need to then be able to go back in, inject into the LP to make it a stable.
Sorry, I just want to say this. People don't realise Uniswap, you can often get stung with, like, you go in and it says, oh, it's only going to be $6, and you come out and it's taken like 18 or 20 bucks off you. That's Uniswap clawing all of that extra gas that's been taken just in case, and they keep it from the side. I wanted to say that.
It's so true. But also people don't realize that if you're like, to go on like proper exchanges, so if we were to go on Binance, for example, we have to be 0% tax. But then I've been CEO for reasonably serious project, and we looked at tier ones, and like we got on a tier 3, and we started looking at tier 2s. But the jump between tier 2 is achievable, but tier 3, you seriously need to know people in high places and jump through a lot of very, very tiny hoops. And 100%. It costs a lot. But the reason I was bringing that up is because we'd have to be 0% tax. And then that's what people don't understand is, well, what's happening with the LP? And to actually make the LP sustainable, and, you then have to put money alongside the actual tokens. So that's why we have the higher hard cap, to be able to do that. Otherwise,
I get it. Yeah, 25 mil, that would put you, if you had that chunk of liquidity and the ability to offer those decent sized market makers, you probably got a chance there with all the other bits and bobs that you've got in place. Because I know that you're also a legal entity, aren't you? You're actually a legitimate business. So this is quite unusual in this space. Did you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So we have one company set up in the UK. We have another company set up in Dubai. We are in the process of setting one up in Malta, Cyprus, Lithuania. At some point, we will do China as well. The main reason why we need so many sort of different companies, because we are looking at different jurisdictions and they all have their own caveats. Also, what's important to know that not many people realize is when you're working with crypto and fiat, you have to keep the two separate to a point when it comes to the companies. So we have to have multiple different companies to be able to make sure that we're protecting the investors ultimately. Another thing that we are also
like CZ being hunted by our lovely Mr. Gary.
Yeah. Actually, I was looking at something earlier. It's a funny post. It's not a negative post. I'll send it to you when we finish. But it was really funny because it was Gary, CZ, Elon, and they were all talking like LFG. And it was like they were questioning him. But yeah, it's a really funny thing. But yeah, you have to. There's so many. I think what's important is because no one really knows what is going to happen in the future. And with crypto, we know that, various different countries, various different organizations, various different parliaments, they're pro it. Like, the king, our king, Charles, he made it crypto a legal currency about a month ago. So that's very positive. Yeah, it's not been really widely spread. I didn't know when it happened. It was literally someone had told me, and then I looked into it, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, it is. It's a legal currency.
How does something like that not get picked up in mainstream media? That tells me something right there that, like, hey, it is people like us. Don't get me started. Ends up in my tinfoil hat. Yeah, all right. Bring it back, Jess. Bring it back. It's getting stupid. So before we go any further, Jenna, like you were presenting to us, it sounds like a serious fintech company with all your companies that you're setting up around. You know, this is as legit as it gets from my perspective. Definitely not.
And I'm fully doxed.
Degen financial advice, maybe, but not financial. I'm sat here going, oh my God, this is amazing. So if, say, somebody with a small bag was to put into your pre-sale now, what would the rewards be by the time that you go into public sale?
So if we only hit the soft cap and we decide, okay, that's fine, let's, put all steam ahead to actually launch, then I believe they would have already doubled their money. But I want people to not actually think about it like that. I want people to actually want to hold. So if
don't we all? Sorry, I'm just going to say, that is the holy grail right there. Unfortunately, the culture that we're in, the industry as it is, people want to make a quick flip. But I hear you. So how are you going to encourage them to not just make a quick 2x and when marketing and all that crap? And
when Lambo
for the long term,
Well, that's why we have the revenue stream. So every single thing that we as a project invest in, they will get a return, and they'll be able to look at it on their own account, and they'll be able to see how much rewards they're getting, and then they'll choose how they can actually remove it, whether it be compounding back into Coopy or removing it as BNB or as a stable coin. So there are
amazing. Oh my God. So like all the cheats out there, they literally could be throwing away diamonds because you're talking about passive income for as long as they're holding the tokens, right?
As long as you're holding, and also the longer you hold, we're going to give you a power up. So if you get in at stage 1, you're going to get your, I don't know, hypothetically, if someone buys 0.25%, but they've held it, then we'll give them a power up and we'll increase that to 0.3% of the supply. So we're going to just keep rewarding people based on how long they hold and how much they hold, but ultimately it's how long they hold. So we want to get to a point where they don't care what the actual token price is. It's important. We need buy and sells. That's just, economics. But ultimately, we want you to not think about that, but you're going, oh, gosh, okay, I bought in at X amount and I'm getting a passive income that can sustain me every single month. And I can choose how I do it. I can increase my bag in Coopy, but I can also go, hey, I want to invest in something else, in Ethereum or BNB. I'll take it out in that and I'll go somewhere else. And we'll also connect with good projects that we believe in. And we'll put sort of a month, I don't know, a good project that we believe in. Let's say Cat Doge, because they were in the thing. They're relevant recently. But let's say we partner with them. Then for a month.
Please do it. I mean, I know it's a meme token. I'm not going to call it a shitcoin because it's not shit. It's actually lovely, but genuine team, passionate about something. It's fun. I have come full circle, because I do believe that tokens like that have their place in our industry and are actually really important. And it fits into the original vision of the cypherpunks in giving everybody an entry into participating in financial systems that can possibly give them financial freedom, life-changing wealth.
Yeah.
So please do partner with Cafe. Okay.
But let's say it was them, then you'd be able to go like, oh, okay, we can compound our rewards and get double the tokens, let's hypothetically say.
This is amazing. This is amazing. And like, I'm, as my handle would suggest, pure degen. And I'm looking at this going like, oh my God, this is like, get in now. And so what's the time scale like, Jenna? How long do you see your pre-sale going on for? Because obviously once people are put into your pre-sale, that's liquidity locked up with you until you actually go live, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. So that's one of the reasons why I'm figuring out, okay, do we just go for the soft cap or do we go longer? Now, the reason why we would go longer is actually have more aggressive marketing. I want to hit the soft cap with foundational investors, people that I know aren't going to just dump. Clearly, we don't know what everyone's going to do, but that's what I want, people that we can reward. And then we would likely hit more of the aggressive call channels, etc., leading into the hard cap. But we don't need to take that route.
You don't need call channels for this. Sorry, just my opinion. Call channels are bullshit. No. Sorry to all my call channel colleagues out there, but like shitcoins, maybe, possibly. I don't see any of them doing a lot of good anywhere. Like unpopular opinion, maybe, but like, yeah, aggressive marketing, yeah, there's better things that you can be doing. So, sorry, timescale. How long? When launch?
Well, looking at other tokens that have gone for a similar raise, they've taken about 2 to 3 months. But I'm thinking we go for just the soft cap, then do aggressive marketing for a couple of weeks and then launch. So it will definitely be this side of the year. But I can't say exactly when.
That'd be a very nice Christmas present. And did I understand that correctly? So you're actually going to be launching with a fully functioning DApp and front end where people can look at their rewards and collect their rewards?
Yeah, 100%. We've already, when you actually buy into the pre-sale, you can set up an account. You don't have to, but you can set up an account and see everything already. Even your referral code, because we've got a referral system in place. So if you were to refer, so if you were to refer, you can already see how much you're earning. We'll start allowing people to actually take that. We haven't yet, but we will start allowing people to do that even during this pre-sale stage. So you could even just earn more than you've invested. You also don't have to invest to get your referral code. That was one of the reasons why we made it. We wanted to, again, this is like making sure that it doesn't matter how much you have, you don't have to invest, you can refer. So we want the community marketing.
Oh my God, you're dropping bombs. Seriously. This really opens up the door. I mean, it's no secret that in this circuit, dare I say, trauma work, AMA kind of circuit that we do, we have a real problem with, and I really understand it as well, people that come from third world and developing countries that have very, very little money, that, for example, getting a $25 giveaway might be the equivalent to 2 or 3 weeks' wages to them, and they go to extraordinary lengths to get them. I've actually made friends with most of them that plagued us in the beginning, which is why we don't have the stupid numbers you see in the VC, because they know, no, Jess is on it. Like, I spent so much time hunting them down and going, like, this wallet connects with this wallet and this account, we've seen this over here, and like, bang to rights. And they're like, okay, they say, yeah, you can come, which is one account. But what you're giving us here is a way for people in those developing countries, I don't like the word third world, actually, in developing countries that are less privileged and prosperous than us in the West, an opportunity to actually do something that's valuable for your project and earn.
Absolutely. And that's the reason why we didn't put any sort of minimum investment, because that's important. One of the things that in, like, you know, Shiba Inu, Doge, etc., they got as big as they did purely through community marketing, and that's key. And that's why, you know, we've put these things in place to make it so that people do not have to actually invest, but they're hard working and they can make a difference for themselves and their life. Hello? Jesse? Is this on my end? Hello?
Sorry, right.
I'm glad you
Telegram,
spoke.
I'm having a battle with Telegram. My Telegram just rugged me. Thanks. Right. Yeah. Can you explain how your referral system works and how people can get into it and what they can get out of it?
Yeah, of course. So you can get into it by setting up an account and just putting your wallet address in. You'll get your own personal link. From that, you get a share of 10%. So let's say Jesse recommends me, because I don't want to say I recommend you because that's just wrong. But let's say you recommend me, I invest.
Yeah, let's do it. Jenna, I got this great project. It's called Coopy. Can you come and be one of my referees, please?
Yes. I'm down.
I'm in. Go on, carry on. Tell us. Sorry.
You would get 4% of whatever I invest. Then let's say I suggest to Zigger, then you will get 3% of what Zigger invests. I get 4%. Then Zigger goes and recommends Mr. X. Then Zigger will get 4%. I get 3%. You get 2%, up until a total of 10%. So it's the reason why we've done it in a tiered way is actually some people get shocked and they're like, oh, it's like a pyramid scheme. And I'm not shy of saying that. Yeah, it sounds like it. But the reason why is because most people, like say if we gave you just 10%, then you'd want to be recommending everyone. And you'd be wanting to jump over everyone. And it's not really that community word of mouth. Whereas if it's tiered, then you recommend me, then you don't care who I recommend, and we're not fighting to try and be that first person.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. And it has the potential to go viral.
Exactly.
If enough people know about it. And
yeah. And that's why we've put it in place. And because I'd rather, no disrespect to anyone on here that might be a core channel owner, like we discussed before, or anything, but I'd rather give back.
You're so much more diplomatic than me.
I've got to be. But I'd rather give 20K out to our community, not even our investors, because you don't have to invest, but I'd rather do that than pay one influencer that is just going to be botted or create a pump and dump. That's why we put it in place. That's the most important thing.
Amazing. Just wow, my mind is getting more and more blown. So listen, guys, there's opportunity to actually make money by coming and helping Coopy with their promotional, a bit of their pre-sale. Like, I mean, that's a big chunk that you're giving away, 10%. Like, so like somebody comes along and says, oh yeah, I really like this, and they got a bit of a bag and they drop 2k, like, and somebody's going to be getting 4% of that. That's a lot, and you keep repeating that over and over, and you're not even asking them to have any skin in the game.
No, because if their skin in the game is that they've got those people in, so that they need to be rewarded. They don't have to do anything.
So refreshing. So I absolutely, genuinely, I absolutely love it. Now, I found something interesting in your white paper. You're talking about a 4% buy tax, but no sell tax. And when I read that, I was like, wow, that's crazy. So people have to pay to get in, but then they can get out anytime they like. And then I read further your explanation of that. Do you want to explain to the people out there why you've suggested that setup?
Yeah, of course. Like I mentioned before, in an ideal world, it'll be 0% tax. But the reason why we put the 4% and the 0% is everyone's happy. Like, you jump in to a token, you don't care about the tax most of the time, unless it's astronomical, of course, or you're looking at the gas fees because, I don't know, it's a bad day and Ethereum is $300 or whatever it might be. But you're happy. But if something goes wrong, you're wanting to exit, whether it be because of the project or your own personal circumstance, most of the time you stick with it purely because you feel like you're backed into a corner. So we wanted to remove that. Like, you can get out scot-free. It's completely up to you. And that's why we put 0% as the sale tax.
So you are all about carrot, like, hey, you stay because you want to, because it's so good being in our ecosystem with everything that we have to, and you're that confident in your product, in your services, that you're happy to do. That is so bullish.
Yeah, I hope so.
And you're confident that people will look at what you're doing and want to buy into it and be happy to pay that 4% tax so that they can get access to all the opportunities that you're offering.
Yeah, exactly. And if they want to sell, then that's absolutely fine. They can go. We could have done 2 and 2. Of course we could, but really, what's the difference? Or we could have just put 4% on a sell, but then that's penalizing the sellers. So we just thought, no, you know what? If we have a tax, and again, like I said, we want it to be 0, but if we do have a tax, it will all be on the buy, and then, that's their buy-in, and we are confident with what we can achieve. We are confident with the revenue stream. We are confident that you'd be able to have a monthly amount of money that could change your life and that you don't want to sell. Of course, because, have to be realistic, but anyone that gets in now, it's really low in comparison what we want to achieve. So, of course, you may want to sell some, of course, so be it. But that's fine. But the aim is that
I can see your confidence, and I can see why. You're legitimate. You've already got a company. Is it incorporated in the UK and Dubai? Did you say?
Yeah.
That's massive in itself. So
and the projects that we're putting in from the forefront the first project that we put in for the incubation. We actually signed MOU heads of terms for 30 million in the first year. No one else knows this, but we signed that for a licensing for the first technology.
That in itself is I'm feeling very monkey-like at the moment. I'll be honest. I'm supposed to be unbiased and all that, but like I'm a DJ. You've signed a contract with a startup that's looking at turning over 30 million in the first year.
It's our in-house incubated project that is going to be put into Coopy, and that's signed the heads of terms for there's more, for 30 million in the first year. So the revenue stream is guaranteed. Can you give us
any idea of what that is? Because I know, and you know, I realised this when I sat down and started researching for this show, that like I like to keep these shows to between an hour and an hour 15 ideally. But for a project like yours, I'd say an hour and a half. But like, there's no way on this world, and I realise that we can possibly get into all of the things that you've got in your white paper, but I think you're doing a really good job of presenting the honey, if you like, here. So, like, because there's some other really, really interesting things that I found, and you were talking about. Right, no, hold on. I want to come back to that company that you've just given us that pretty huge bit of alpha, like 30 million contracts in the first year. And it's like, I don't know how that works, but that's 30 million is a big number in my brain. My little monkey brain, that's a big number.
And my brain as well. I was like, yes, this is amazing.
That can be really good. So what kind of company is that? What are they looking to do? Because I know you're looking at augmented reality and virtual reality and the whole gaming thing, which I think everybody that's here realizes that sometime either before or during the next cycle that's going to blow up. It's going to truly blow up. Can you give us a little teaser of what that company might be?
Yeah, so this is the cooling tech. I don't know if you saw that in the white paper, but this is cooling tech, which is it's smaller and more energy efficient than anything on the market right now. And it can be retrospectively fitted into current like air conditioning units. And that's where this particular contract has been put in place, is one of the largest aircon companies wants to license the tech for the cooling. But it's also, we've got MOUs in place with governments and also another company, but this
Jenna,
is not fine.
I don't know. What's an MAU?
MOU is a memorandum of understanding. So it's like the pre-contract. Then you normally head into heads of terms. So it's like everyone looks and goes, okay, this is what we're discussing. This is what the contract might look like. And then you enter into contract phase.
So it's like a pre-contract.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a contract to say we're legit and we're really interested in this.
Yeah. And we're going to have these discussions and we want to put this in place. So the MOUs that we've entered into are with governments. The heads of terms that we've entered into now, that I mentioned before, that's with one of the largest aircon companies globally. They want to license the tech. There's also another company that wants to license the tech for some of their, what can I say? Hydraulic piping, I suppose, is all that I can say, but that's a big contract as well.
Wow, and just like, yeah, I mean, this is bringing blockchain technology. This is bringing the promise of decentralization, everybody getting in. So, I mean, because usually, and you said it early on, venture capitalist opportunities, and they're the ones that make the big bucks because they get in, you know, and angel investors and all that kind of stuff. That's very, very exclusive and very difficult to get into. Even if you've got a lot of money, difficult to get into because it's very exclusive for elite people that are in certain, you know, it's very centralized.
You have to know someone to know someone, ultimately.
Exactly. And you're giving,
and that's what we want to do.
And that's what Coopy is in a nutshell, really.
Yeah. We want to give everyone that opportunity. We want someone that is even just invested $10 to be able to be like, I invested in that. And then also, if they hold, even if it's just $10, if they hold from stage 1 forever, we want to give back and we want to reward them more. We would also, that's why we've tokenized this, is so that we can see, and it's not just like, you know, most shares, you need, at this level, you need sort of 100,000 to 1 million. No one with $10 would be able to do it. But
no.
Equally, they then sell, and people, you know, shareholders, they get out, and well, if it's on the stock exchange, etc. But we want to just break that barrier and also diversify the risk.
Amazing. It's like what you're presenting us with tonight is an opportunity to chuck $10 into your pre-sale right now, and within, well, before Christmas, it could be an easy 2x flip, but you're convinced that people will see this as an opportunity to stay. It's going to be much more valuable to stay for the long term, because that's what 100%. You're planning for. And what I really like about what you're doing is that your revenue stream doesn't depend on people buying more tokens to pay the people that have already got tokens, because you're actually doing something in the real world and getting paid from that. So, I mean, somebody could put in $10 into your pre-sale right now, and by Christmas have tokens that are worth $20, but keep them in your ecosystem and grow that through the dividends that are going to be coming in through the contract. So obviously, you know what you're doing. If you've got a company that's looking at a startup that's worth 30 million just in the first year alone, and they can grow that bag, and of course, get into the bull run. Now, we have touched, when I first met you, I think you're in my friend's lounge, and I think I actually asked this question about liquidity. So I know that you're planning on doing something that's quite unusual in this space. I mean, we did it in another project. We had half in BNB and half in BUSD to get a bit of stabilization, but you're planning on going even further than that and going all in with your liquidity on stables, aren't you?
We haven't 100% decided.
Good.
Yeah, there's pros and cons. It's so hard to know, you know, what is the right thing at this present moment in time. Because of the pre-sale, we are doing automatic conversions with the contract into stables. That seems to be the right thing to do. But when we actually launch, I'm not sure. My gut and my heart, gosh, sorry. My gut and my heart says not stable, especially because stable, you know, what is stable nowadays, really? Like,
and fiat, all fiat currency. You've heard me on my little pedestal about this one, my soapbox. All fiat currencies in the world, the biggest shit coins known to man. Forget about Pepe, Doge, Come Rocket, or whatever it is. Like US dollar. Sorry, it's a shit coin. It's the biggest Ponzi ever known to mankind.
100%.
What do I know? But I mean,
no, you're so right.
all joking aside, it's a serious consideration, because I heard your argument for putting your liquidity into stables, that because we go in 4-year cycles, we know that there's a bull pump and then there's an inevitable dump. But year on year, the increases in relative term to blue chip cryptos outstrips fear by like hundreds of percent. I don't know the current statistics on that, but so
no, you're right. There's pros and cons, but that's also why, again, it's like, you know, an aspiration, because we've already touched on, you know, people dumping, etc., pump and dumps, and that's also healthy for any economy. We need that. We can't just have everything being buying. It has to be buys and sells.
No, if you have aspirations to get on a tier 1 set CEX, then you have to have volume. Otherwise, they're not. That's how they make their money. They're not going to be interested in you. So it's
exactly.
Got to be tradable.
Yeah, 100%.
People have, you know, traders with significant bags are trading on tier 1s, or even little people like me, for example, are going to need to see some benefit in trying to buy dips and sell the tops and all that kind of stuff, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%.
So that's an interesting one. So you just answered that question for me. I'm really delighted to hear that you're now considering, actually, maybe a safe bet is somewhere in between, 50-50, you know, have 2 or even 3 liquidity pairs if you've got enough. But I'm glad that you're considering.
Yeah, and always was. Not anything that I said before was not 100%. It was just that's one option. It's hard because that's why we want to put the revenue stream in, so that people aren't watching the token price. That's important, but that shouldn't be the foundation. And so therefore, it doesn't matter if it's paired with ETH, for example, because then they're not sort of sitting there going like, oh, why token down? Because they're getting their revenue stream anyway, so they don't care. That's why we've put this model in place, to make sure that people do not care what's going on with the chart, or in the hope.
It makes a lot of sense. I've got a couple more questions here, but before we get into that, we've been talking for about an hour now. So
oh gosh, sorry, I ramble.
No, don't apologise at all. No, no problem at all. Giving a project like you and a guest like yourself the airtime, like we'll carry on, because there's lots more to get into. And but I'm interested to see the questions from the community now. So I think we've got Zigazig in the chat with us. Zigazig, would you like to just say a quick hello? I know you're not. You like to let Jenna do the front of house stuff, but would you like to say hello and just introduce yourself quick? Are you there, Zigazig? Hold on, let me have a look and make sure that you're not muted. Let me go in on my other account. Zigazig. Yeah, you're unmuted. If you want to unmute yourself and just say hi. No, maybe he's done what I do sometimes and put his phone down on the side and gone off and had a coffee, or just forgotten. All right. So, Jenna, could you give our community that are waiting patiently to get their Google Forms uploaded a password?
So I say the password.
Anything you like.
I love Coopy.
Say it again.
I love Coopy.
I love PP. How are we spelling
Coopy,
PP?
not poopy.
Poopy. Sorry.
Coopy, you silly head.
Oh, it's poopy. I love poopy. How are we spelling poopy? You need to spell it
No,
for him.
Coopy. Coopy.
A Coopy. Sorry, I'm not. Obviously, I must be going deaf. Of course, it's Coopy. And whilst we're on that, is that going to be your ticker name as well? Coopy.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah. All right. I love Coopy. That's the password. You've got 10 minutes to get your forms uploaded. The quicker that you are at getting your forms uploaded, the more likely I am to see your question and ask it, and the more likely you are to win that massive $50 prize for the best question that Jenna will pick. And the way that that will work is that I'll ask 5, possibly 6 of the most interesting or funniest questions that I can see on our sheet. And then after we've done this show, I'll send those over to you without any names or anything like that, just the questions. And then you can pick the one that you thought was the best one. And that will be our winner.
Okay, amazing.
So there's something that I really want you to talk about, because I'm such a big fan of this. When I originally saw this, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, because this as well was another idea, vision that the cypherpunks had, that decentralized blockchain technology is about much more than just a ledger sheet for recording financial transactions. So I've seen, I had to make a note because I couldn't remember it all. So you're looking at using the blockchain to do things like contracts, non-disclosure agreements, which I thought was really funny when I started reading about actually real world NDAs aren't worth the paper they're written on. I know
They're
this.
not in the slightest.
Like I never stuck to it. It's like, yeah, Jess, we're paying you off, and you have to not talk about this ever again. Since that time, I haven't stopped talking about it. But it's not going down that rabbit hole now. Authenticity of legitimacy, IP assets, patents, and trademarks. Do you just want to speak to people a little bit about that, and about how you're planning on using the blockchain to do these things?
Yeah, 100%. So like you touched on, NDAs do not mean a single thing. You can have like common law patents where you've like sent your own ideas to yourself. But still, if someone has a bigger bag and a war chest, they can steal your idea and they'll wipe the floor of you because they can afford it. They can get their lawyers in. So that's why I think blockchain is very important for this project, because we are obviously entering into contracts under Coopy for the benefit of the investors. So we need to have transparency on the blockchain, and there's nothing more transparent than the blockchain. There's no hiding things. So we'll be able to put contracts in place there, whether it be like under an NFT or, you know, whatever, we can actually have transparency. But one of the things that is interesting.
Because I was here when NFTs first began, and like I was one of those that was just like, really, people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a JPEG. What is the point of NFTs? Yeah. But now we're talking about NFTs, and I see it. I have come full circle. I'm actually an NFT max, although I don't necessarily understand them still, but I really see their usefulness now. So you're talking about having these contracts, NDAs, trademarks, etc., actually tied up in an NFT, which is, we know, one of a kind and absolutely immutable and verifiable on the blockchain. This is amazing.
Yeah. And it's the way that people can actually have ownership. We're talking with a, I can't say who, but a very, very famous worldwide DJ that also has their own record label. We're talking with them to partner and actually have all of the licensing rights for music under their company, publishing as well, tied up on the blockchain. Label. Yeah, and tied up on the blockchain. And that is exciting for me because, you know, there's endless scope. You can have artwork. You could have a piece of art that a really expensive piece of art needs to be locked up, insured. It also has to be under the right lighting conditions, heat, etc., like a good fine wine. You could have that stored in a vault somewhere. You know it's fine, but then you could have your NFT artwork on your wall, and so you can appreciate it, but you know nothing's going to happen to it. So that's also another side of what I personally am very interested in when it comes to blockchain technology. The NDAs are one part, contracts, but yeah, licensing, patents. You can't, like, no matter how much of a war chest someone has, you can't dispute the blockchain. You can't manipulate that.
It's immutable.
Yeah.
And it's verified by the whole of the network, not one tiny corruptible centralized point.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
Amazing, Jenna. And how will this feed into your ecosystem? How will you monetize it? How will you use that to give benefit back to your stakeholders, which are the token holders, by the way?
Well, it varies. So it will be like contracts, because obviously then those contracts are things that we've invested in. So then everyone will be able to see clearly their shareholding. We'll also be reporting, like, you know how a normal company, you don't open all your books, but you have an audit and you have quarterly reports. So we'll produce those on the blockchain. Then any sort of partner. Oh, sorry.
Amazing. No, I'm just listening to you. I'm like, but Jesus, amazing. I love it. I genuinely love it. Music, carry on, Jenna. Sorry, don't let me put you off. Carry on.
No, that's okay. Any partners that we come up with, because it's even like Web2 companies, a music industry, not everyone is involved in blockchain. They don't understand it. A lot more are coming out. And they are investigating it, of course, but we'll be providing a service, and then any revenue that Coopy gets, we'll be distributing that to our investors. So literally anything we work on will be redistributed based on how much you hold and how long you hold it for.
And you're giving people the opportunity to get in right now, all those little degen scumbags over on BSC, because this is the thing, I'll be honest. When I first saw you presenting your project and your ideas and what you're building here, I was really confused. I think I even said this to you. What the fuck are you doing in Degen DeFi on Telegram? Because, like, you're talking about a blue chip company as far as I can see. But I get it. You told us right in the beginning, you have aspirations to do what the blockchain was designed to do, which is to give everybody an equal opportunity to participate in these opportunities that can create certainly financial freedom and quite possibly life-changing wealth. It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. And what you're talking about is so much more, because I don't mean any offense to anybody with projects, whether that's the tiniest meme token or like your biggest project, whatever. But, you know, the majority, I'd say 90%, possibly more, of what we're doing at the moment in the crypto industry is just practice, really, for the main event, which is bringing crypto into the mainstream and creating real use case for it. But you're part of that 10% that's actually presenting the opportunity for a real use case in the real world. You know, this is amazing. For me, this really is a rare find, proper gem. I'm calling it. Coopy is a gem.
Thank you. We want to be ahead of the curve.
There's some really nice questions here, and there's some silly ones as well. I know it's something. I've worked through all my points now, I think. But there was one thing I noticed in your blurb. Is this you that does the writing for your white paper and all that kind of stuff? I love it. I'm a writer too, and quite often people in my community, I write essays. In fact, if you read our rules, they get to the bottom. It's like, well done. If you got this far, maybe you want to reconsider your position as a DGen, because welcome to Jesse DGens, and Jesse writes essays. But I really love it, and I'll confess, I've only scanned through it at this point, but what I've scanned, I really, really loved. And what I noticed early on when you were writing was you talking about futurable tech powered by the blockchain. Do you want to just spend a minute speaking to that statement?
Yeah, of course. I think the blockchain is the future. And we've gone from, Web 2 to Web 3, which is where we're at now. But then we're also looking at Web 3 and Web 4 with artificial intelligence. There's a lot of scope in the movement, and then it will inevitably be Web 4 to Web 5, and so on and so forth. But that's what...
I'm only just getting my head around Web 4, and I'm still not entirely sure I know what that means. But carry on.
Me neither. Yeah. I don't think anyone knows where things are currently heading, but that's what we want to do. Is actually we want to put the foundation in now of implementing blockchain. That's one of the reasons why many people have said, okay, like you just said, you've got this. Why crypto? Why are you tokenizing it? And it's twofold. Well, there's multiple aspects to it. It's obviously what I mentioned before with giving the normal investor an opportunity, but it's also more important than that. It's the connections that we actually meet. This is I would not be sat here right now in my normal world with you. I would not. We would never have met. Maybe at some point, possibly, but probably not. And
maybe if you come to one of my underground jungle raves.
Yeah.
Exactly. We were talking about artists earlier. I'm a DJ. I don't have a record label or anything like that. But yeah, sorry. No, you're right. No. And this was a part. Again, I don't know, I sound like a broken record, but I can hear myself by this point. But I'm really, really passionate about the ideas that the cypherpunks encapsulated in the original Bitcoin white paper. And that was exactly what we're doing here tonight. People from all around the world, from all different minorities, backgrounds, social statuses, regardless of wealth or anything else, being able to come together, bringing the people back together, because we live in a society today that's governed by an elite few. There's no debating about that. Democracy, in my opinion, is a bit of a stretch, to say the least, if not a joke. Yeah. And normal people don't have a lot of stake, don't have a lot of say in the way that the world is run, organised, and dare I say, even governed. But yet here we are tonight, from everywhere, all together, talking about these ideas and building the new structures, a new society. Even that's what I believe we're doing here. But
I totally agree. I am as well. And when I look back at my childhood, not my childhood, but my teen years, I didn't live in London, but I used to come into London, and I met so many celebrities, so many lovely individuals just by going out and having a conversation. Now society has changed, I think, and sorry to be a boring old fart for everyone that's listening, but now you go out and you've just got people dressed in next to nothing, taking photos and hoping to get pregnant by the next footballer. So
and get 1 million likes on what insert social network platform here.
Yeah.
I mean, people are literally being programmed, literally. And I confess, I haven't been on Facebook since before Christmas. And Instagram is, I mean, because I've been working here in DeFi, I don't have time for it. That's all part of my DJ stuff and the free party culture and all that kind of stuff. But it is, you know, I get sucked into it, that need for the next dopamine hit when you see your like count go up by another 5 or 10 or whatever. It's ridiculous. It's bullshit. It's meaningless.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And that's one of the things that I love about coming and speaking to you and others. It's just like, it feels like the old days where you could just have a conversation. You could just meet anyone from all walks of life, whether they're not homeless, because clearly they won't have a phone, but someone that doesn't have much money and someone that's a billionaire. And you can just chat. And that's what I love. And that's one of the other reasons why I wanted to tokenize, and also tokenize so that if you're investing in like a grassroots company, you can't normally get your money back for a very long time, if ever, until they float. Whereas if you're not happy with what we're doing,
you wouldn't ever get the opportunity to anyway. That's the truth of it. You know, because normal people are bred to like go and get trained, go and get programmed through the education system and turned out into nice little citizens, aka drones, go to work for the man from 9 to 5, work hard, pay taxes, and don't retire until an ever increasing age, and then be too old to enjoy life and die. Sorry.
Yeah, and don't follow your passion and dream. But yeah, it's true.
Creativity.
Give me 1 second. I need to get my charger. Otherwise, I will just suddenly cut out.
So many good questions here. Guys, you guys have absolutely smashed it out of the ballpark tonight with your questions. Seriously. I'm going through them here and I'm kind of talking to Jenna and looking at your questions, and like, there's so many good ones. I'm gonna ask how many have I picked? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna ask 7 questions, and there's so many more, but we're gonna keep it short. So this is the way this bit's gonna work. I'm gonna ask a question, and you give an answer in like 30 seconds or less, if you can. If you need a bit more time, then okay. So I'm gonna go with this one first because it just made me smile. It touched my heart, and like it speaks to what I say at the start of every show that we do here. It says, and I don't mean to be. I've been accused of being sexist before, and I don't mean to be. I just like to bring a bit of equality into what we're building here, because you know this is about equality.
Of course.
So this person says, having ladies like you and Jessie is actually amazing. What is your plans when it comes to onboarding more ladies into the team of Coopy?
So there's no specific plans of females. I'm not anyone that's good at what they do. I'm gender neutral in that's best for the job.
That's fair. But, I hate you be looking for some good lady, because there is still, and sadly, a big inequality in our society. Yeah. But you're right. You know, it has to be, especially when you're looking at business, it has to be about who's going to be the best person for the business first. That's the most important thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so, but I think females need to not shy away from technology. I think that's also, they do inherently, unfortunately. So I'm talking to a lot of females in the background, and trying to encourage them. But we also have to get the job done, sadly. But yeah, we want to obviously encourage it.
And I wonder if some of it is because it's such a male-dominated world, particularly here in Web3. Although I will say to all the boys out there that, like, most of the time, I feel really comfortable and actually respected, and quite, you know, there's always the odd idiot, but most of the time, like, thumbs up, big up all the boys out there. But like, I mean, we do have a culture of bro and sir and all that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's where I just keep chipping away. And like, anybody that dares to slip into my DMs and call me sir or bro, God, I wouldn't want to be them. I'm horrible.
Send me your template, because I just ignore them. So I want to copy and paste that.
Okay. I have a potty mouth and it involves lots of swearing, and then usually screenshotting their conversations and coming back here to my community to post it and take the piss out of them publicly. They hate me. They usually end up swearing a lot, and then it's like ban, delete. Some of them are actually, some of them are really good. Some of them take it in the spirit that it's meant, and they're like, no, fair, sorry, okay. All right, Mum.
Oh my gosh.
I have a great marketing opportunity for your project. Tell me about your token. Like, this is promotional platform. This is community. Like, what? Don't even get me started. Anyway, right. So next question. I heard that Jenna has extensive connections in the television and media industry. What motivated her to transition to the crypto industry and specialise incubator, accelerator, Coopyverse, credit cards? You've already spoken to that. So I'm going to say ask it, but it's been answered already. You explained that. So to that person that asked that question, you got lucky because I read your question out, because I think probably just scanned it. But like, it's a good question though, but it's already been answered. So we're not going to labour that one anymore. I don't know who this is from, because when I'm looking at these questions, I don't see the names, so it's completely unbiased. I've just got a spreadsheet of the questions, and it's just like, it is completely. So I don't know whether this is from a boy or a girl, but it's kind of nice either way. So it says, Jenna, your smile is pretty. Will Coopy chart be as pretty as your smile?
I hope so. But I don't think I have a pretty smile, but that's lovely.
Yeah. Another question. We haven't really touched on this because we haven't had time, because there's so much. I mean, we mentioned it, but so in the future, can you use Coopy Labs in VR? So I'm guessing they mean, so in the future, will we be able to use VR in Coopy Labs?
Yeah, so we're creating a metaverse, and you'll be able to flip between AR and VR. And we're also working on our own in-house AR VR glasses, so that you can flip on the fly, because we are also creating our own Pokemon Go style game, also Tamagotchi, so that you can have like mini Coopy. You have to do various different tasks in AR world. And then he becomes adult Coopy, and there's lots of different things associated with that. I hope I did that in my 30 seconds.
There, so casually, it's like, and we're creating our own product. We're going to bring that to market and sell it as well in an industry that we know is about to literally explode, virtual reality and augmented reality and all that kind of stuff. That's amazing. I wish we had another couple. I wish we could be here all night, because I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to be in your chat asking so many questions. It's like what? There's still so much I want to know, honestly.
Anytime.
Right. Next question is about security, and I think we've already touched on it, but like maybe not quite specifically. So this person asks, is safe when KYC an audit, and then they back that up with, I need to join pre-sale. Yeah, that was a nice touch. Just how I know these are genuine questions, which is what we want here. I've got to say, all of these questions tonight are really legitimate and genuine. Again, I said it really big up community. Thank you so much. Like 30 genuine questions here. That's amazing. Yeah, so KYC, I mean, you're incorporated as a business in the UK and Dubai. I don't think you even really need to touch on KYC and here you are fully screen doxed with us, and like, so KYC is not worth the paper, not worth the bit of NFT that is written. I've done a couple myself, and no offense to any KYC, but like, so easy to fake. And I've seen so many rugs that have had the KYC NFT, and they're still rugs. So yeah, just saying. But security audits, that's a fair question. Are you going to get everything audited?
100% going to get everything audited. Well, we've got different options. I have already actually done KYC previously, but that was when Pink Sale was the first sort of launch pad. Now there's negative things that are being said about them. So we've been recommended to do Assured Defy. But like you said, I'm...
El Chapo. I love Assured. El Chapo is amazing. Like, I've done two. And that one was like, thumbs up. I need to connect with El Chapo again. He's a great guy. I love him. So
you recommend? Yeah, so that's who it's been recommended. But like you said, I'm on Company's house. Like you can find me. That's the biggest thing.
You had to do some identity checks to become a director of your company, to be registered on Company's house. I know this because I've been a director of my own company as well in a prior life. But like, I mean, and that is much more legitimate than like any sort of no disrespect, KYCs and all that. But that's great that you're working with Assured. Right?
And also we are putting insurance in place. We're putting insurance in place based on the funds that we raise on our ledger. We're also doing insurance for the directors and officers. We're also doing insurance based on information that anyone might put out on our website. So we're putting insurance in place to protect the investors as well.
Wow. So when people buy into your project, when they become stakeholders, you are really going to extreme lengths to look after. Insurance is practically unheard of in this industry. So does that include things like, I mean, we really hope that this doesn't happen, but in the unfortunate instance that somebody manages to exploit your code and manages to drain your liquidity or anything like that, are you looking at insurance for that too?
Yeah, we are. So we've got multi-sig wallets for all of the funds and the marketing wallets, etc. But if someone...
How many signatures are you going to be?
7.
What, 7 for each transaction?
Well,
out of how many? Or are you going to have 7 signatories, but then how many is it going to take to sign off on to execute a transaction?
3.
3. Yeah, three's a good number. 4's better. It's a pain in the arse though. I was on a team that had 4 signatures, but 3's good. 3's reasonable.
I think the problem is with different time zones, it's difficult to get every single person all at the same time, and then investors don't always understand, and they're like, oh, when's this? And it's like, well, we need to wait for so and so. And if anyone's like me, I have different devices. I've got like 6 different phones where I have different things going on. So it's hard, and you don't want to connect to public Wi-Fi, etc.
We once had a master chef, a notice with 4 signatories as owner of a master chef with 11 contracts attached to it, and oh my god, we nearly lost the entire project because we couldn't even change ownership because we couldn't get the transaction signed and executed quick enough. We were literally all there on video call at the same time going, right, press the button now. It was like scary shit, but yeah, I mean, hopefully Notice has got a bit better since those times, but yeah, three's good.
And so far they're good, but we're insured against that. So like, let's say anyone was to be able to exploit and drain something, we're going to be insured against that as well. So it doesn't matter.
That's amazing. And who are your auditors, or have you not decided yet?
Haven't decided. Obviously, Certic is the main one. But
Shield better. Sorry, I'm going to say it straight out. If I had to choose between Certic and Pet, yeah, Certic, like they got the big reputation, but Peck Shield.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I don't mind. I need advice. You know, Certic is the one that everyone goes to, but whether it's worth the money, the jury's out.
They become a victim of their own success, in my opinion. And Peck Shield. Well, I mean, Peck Shields were, I'm not sure if this still is, but they used to be Binance's preferred security company. And that speaks volumes in itself. And I know, you know, from everything, I'm not involved in these projects anymore, but from everything that I see and read online, Peck Shield are always the first ones in there with the post-mortems of the big hacks of, you know, the bridges and the liquidity pools and everything else. And they're really, really thorough. You know, they're legitimate. Not saying that Certic's not, because it is. No. But I have seen quite a few rugs since I've been back in DeFi that have been Certic audited. Although, you know, they do say that there can always be. So, I mean, like, that's no disrespect to Certic. I don't want to say
of course.
No disrespect. But I do think that they became so popular and so big so quickly that perhaps things have slipped here. No. Just my opinions there. Sorry. Right, we need to wrap this up now because we've been here for a long time. But I knew this was going to be impossible to get into a condensed show. So, last couple of questions, really easy ones. This person asks, because I mean, you haven't mentioned this at all. So they say, is the $500,000 giveaway real? That's lots of money. If I buy $10, can I have a chance to win?
Yes. So it is real if we go for the hard cap. Clearly, if we're going for the soft cap, we can't give that much away. That's why we've also structured it that it's at the end of each stage. So if at the end of stage 1, then we will give away $10,000. The end of stage 2, we'll give an additional $20,000. But if we only get to stage 4, which is our soft cap, we're not going to give away the full $500,000. That would just be ridiculous.
No, of course. And I read that. No, that hadn't even popped up on my radar. But that's amazing though. Still, so somebody that chucks $10 worth of beans into your pre-sale contract right now has the chance to win 10,000.
Yeah, at the end of stage 1. We've got a sweep widget where it's again about the community, so you can get additional entries. So for every $10 that you put in right now, you'll get 1 ticket, and then you can do the sweep widget and get more tickets. And at the end of stage 1, we will give away $10,000.
Oh my god! So you get 1 ticket per each $10 that you check in.
Yeah,
but then you can power that up by doing the sweep widget tasks.
Yeah.
You heard that, guys. $10, and you're buying into a legitimate project that has, you know, long-term aspirations with everything that we've talked about, and you have the chance of winning 10 grand, 10 large for $10, and you can increase your chances by doing some tasks and helping, and also helping to pump your own bags, because when you're working for your project, by doing the tasks and everything else, you're working for your bags. That's what we do here. I don't understand people that don't want to do that, but I mean, we have a funny culture, don't we? Fast money, pump and dump, get out before it rugs. Well, this is a project. I don't think that you need to worry about getting out before it pumps and then inevitably dumps or rugs. I'm just saying, my opinion again. Sorry, you can tell we've been here for a long time now, because I've gone from trying to be quite politically correct to I don't give a fuck now. I'm just going to say what I think. I'm just going to call it the way I see it. This is bullish as fuck. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Last question, and then we'll wrap up. No questions for you, Jenna. Just want to know how far this project will go before you personally can say that you have a successful project. So what does success look like to you? What will be the point that you're going to sit back and go, done it?
Yeah,
I suspect that you're a bit of a perfectionist like me, and like it's never going to be, it's always going to be a work in progress, right? But I mean, what would be your ideal? What would be your realistic ideal for success?
I think my realistic ideal for success, if I'm being completely honest, it's not about the market cap. It won't be a crypto answer. It will be me seeing individuals with their lives having changed and me trying to help in any way that I can, whether it be just having a conversation. Yes, of course, sometimes money comes into play, but just seeing a difference in other people's lives. And I would feel comfortable sitting back on holiday going, everyone's happy, you know, that's success for me. And having a conversation. Even when I was in Malta last year, I made friends with like 80-year-olds, and having a conversation with them and hearing about their life story, that's more fulfilling for me than looking at a chart or trading something or thinking like, oh gosh, I've just made X amount of money. Meeting up with our investors and being like, we've made a difference, that would be fulfilling for me.
Oh my God, I love you. Made me go completely gooey. I have this, didn't tell anyone because I have a reputation to uphold to being really horrible bitch. But like, I'm just like, oh, I love Coopy. Sorry, I'm a fan. You've got a new groupie. You've got a new groupie at me. Give me your cheerleader now, seriously. He's so cool. Let me hear you talk to us about tonight. So, I mean, like, I usually sum up at this point. All I can say is, like, look, this is a project with real world utility. And that's very rare in this space. And you have a leader here that's passionate about bringing the original vision of decentralization through blockchain technology to life. And you've got a chance to like make bank. I mean, like, it's a no-brainer. You can get into the pre-sale now. Yeah, it's going to be on ERC20, but you don't need to worry about the ETH troll if you chuck a few bucks into the pre-sale right now. And like you've already heard, that by the time it goes live, it's going to be worth 2x. But you're not going to want to cheat it because it's an earner. You can just hold it and you're going to earn and you can compound. And like we all know, compounding interest is the holy grail. That is diamonds, and it's I come from yield farming. That's where I made all my money originally before I got wrecked and lost it all. And like that's another story. But you know, I'm a big fan in this kind of model, because it really rewards people for staying engaged and holding and being more than just holding a token. You're holding a stake of this company that's multinational, by the way. You know, you've heard it. Okay, right. I'm supposed to be summing up. I'm gonna start off on a Jesse lecture at this point. So I'm gonna shut up now and let you have the last words, Jenna. If there's one thing that you would like, if people didn't remember anything else from this evening, there's one thing that you would like them to go away thinking about, what would that be? It can be anything.
Gosh. Well, first of all, thank you for listening. Thank you for taking this time. Thank you, Jesse. But yeah, if you want to try and actually be involved in a project that you can actually have passive income from, then check us out. Read the white paper, come and have any questions that you ask. We're an open book. And hopefully you'll join us on our journey. That's the main thing I can do.
Amazing, Jenna. Thank you so much.
I
wish you all the best. Like I say to all our guests, well, most of our guests, there's some that I'm just like, no, you're a scumbag. Fuck off and don't come back. Be straight through you. But like all our genuine, yeah, actually, we're quite blessed here. And we're quite picky as well about who we invite in here. I just want to say that. We don't let we have people asking, and we're like, no, don't want nothing to do with that. Because But like, seriously, thank you for coming along, being such a great guest. And I know you had a problem with your shoulder and switch your camera on and everything. This will be up on YouTube soon enough. I will definitely be watching this back, and I'll be coming over. So please remember, we're here. We're only a small community, but we're legit. When you have such stuff, when you get to milestones, or when you have any news, whatever, please feel free to ping it in here so that we can all have a look at it as well. And I hope that I know that anybody that's joined the giveaway tonight must already have joined the Coopy group or already be in there. But if you're not and you just caught the tail end of this, get over there, go and have a look at it, because their group's really nice as well. I go and chill out in there sometimes, and it's just a nice place to be. It really is. It's a nice community. So yeah, anyway, I am the queen of long wrap-ups, as you can see, but thank you so much. I'm gonna switch my camera off now for a minute. I'll put the music back on. We'll get all your names into the spin the wheel. We'll be back in about 10 minutes to do the old gambling spinning the wheel to see who's the lucky DJs tonight. So long as you've done all the things that you're supposed to have done, and you're not naughty cheats and trying to manipulate the system, because we'll find out. We'll find out. Jenna, thank you. You're welcome to hang around with us, but I think you probably want to go and nurse your shoulder now, don't you? Go and have pedals with lovely Coopy.
Oh, he just went, oh, as if he's agreeing with you.
That's his name. All right, my lovely. Night. Remember where we are. We're best friends now. BFFs.
Yes, of course.
Stay in touch. I'll come and see you, and you come and see us. And I wish you all the best. Honestly,
amazing. Thank you so much.
I'm going to be watching this one, and not financial advice, but Jesse DJing financial advice. I'm going to be chucking a few bucks into your pre-sale because I really like it. I don't say that very often for many projects to come in. So thank you.
Amazing. Thank you.
No.
Take care.
Bye. Spin the wheel. I'm just going to spin it. You'll know what it's for. Coopy. Big up Coopy. They sponsored this show tonight. Fucking awesome. Just saying. It's a gem. Not financial advice. DJing financial advice. But Jesus Christ. Just chuck some money in that pre-sale, for fuck's sake. This has got to be the safest thing in anywhere right now. What do I know? I'm going to spin the wheel. I'm going to spin it a few times. Actually, I'm going to actually write names down tonight. I'm being organised with my Padlet. So here we go. Because we all know that sometimes we have little cheaters, and when I've done all my meticulous checking, I go like, no, but wait, you're running 20 accounts? What's up with that? So let's go. Let's fucking go. I'm going to spin the wheel now. First one. Let's see. I know I don't even have to check you, but I will do, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be being fair to everyone. So winner one is Badger. Hide Badger's name. Okay. Number two. Crypto J. Big up. Crypto. I can't be asked to write all that. Crypto J. Next one. Destiny! One of our fans. Destiny. Just so long as you've not been cheating. If I catch you, you know, fucking chopping, like, I'm probably just let you pass because I'm soft like that, but please don't. Just be good. Just one. And then everybody has the same amount of chances. It's fair. So you three, Badger, Crypto J, and Destiny, you've all won prizes tonight. I think that breaks down in $30, $20, and $10. That sounds right. Does that sound right? No, that doesn't sound right. I've probably done something wrong somewhere. I'll work it out. I'll make sure it's fair. First prize gets $50, and the last three, I know I've made a mistake in the advertisement, but it's a giveaway. Like, guys, I'll make it fair. First one will get more, second one will get a bit less, and the third one equally. I'll fucking work it out. I'll work it out. But I'm going to spin the wheel a few more times, just in case anybody gets caught cheating. So these, you haven't won, don't get excited. But you might have won if we discover that somebody's been being a bit of a little cheater. Okay? Let's go. Oh, yeah. It is my lovely sugar. Hello, sugar. You're a flea bag. You're fucking fleas. And they stink. I've been doing them with this flea stuff. It's like stinks of... It's quite nice, actually, but it's very overpowering. But it's better than fleas. Sorry, I can't pronounce the name. Senili 911. Like the Porsche, 911 like Porsche. Okay. Which you will be driving by the bull run if you make it there, if you survive that long. You're a runner-up. Sorry, it's better than my waffling. Everyday Q&A! Big out since you're a runner-up, so don't get excited just yet. But if it's cheaters, you will be a winner. Every day. I do a couple more, it should be enough. Love content, yay! You're a runner-up! Don't get too excited, because I think everybody's been quite good after I had my few weeks of going absolutely fucking mental at everyone for cheating. But I'm still checking, because D-Gens are gonna D-Gen, right? Crypto Gabriel! I mean, I'm just spinning the wheel now. Like, you can fuck off now. It's just boring. I think I might win something. Yeah. Queen of D-Gens for a reason. It's like gambling. Maybe I'll spin it and it'll fucking give me some money. I don't know. You see why I'm always wrecked now, can't you? Marita. Fuck it, I'll do it a couple more times just in case. I recognise the name, and I think you're being good, but I'm not sure. Christian. BT3. Last one, because I'm pretty certain that it's like, you can't, if all those people, if Badger's been cheating, fucking hell, Badger, you better not been cheating. I'm joking.
No, Badger's never cheating.
Abigail 40, Abigail 40. I can hear somebody trying to talk to me. Right, I'm done. Hold on. These are fucking big tunes. Let me just stop sharing my screen here a sec.